Hey music lovers, Sara J here. Looking for an inclusive space where you can connect with fellow fans, deep dive into your favorite music, and be a part of something special? Well, look no further. Join us on Patreon, where music and community come together. Get exclusive content, behind-the-scenes access, and a place to geek out over the artists you love, plus explore music you haven't heard yet. Come hang out with us. Patreon.com/DATC Media Company. That's patreon.com/DATC Media Company. See you there. A member of the DATC Media family. There are moments in nature so powerful they reshape everything in their path. Destruction followed by renewal. At the end of the last ice age, the Missloua floods tore across the Pacific Northwest, glacial lakes bursting through ice dams in cycles of collapse and return. And sometimes that same force exists within us. Today's guest, multi-instrumentalist Sierra Fournier of the psychedelic indie rock collective Satellite Pilot, taps into that current with her second solo release, The Missloua Floods. What began as a chance discovery on a weekend trip became the perfect metaphor for the internal landscape she navigated while writing this 10-track, narrative-driven album, calm and reflective one moment, powerful and immersive the next. From the opening rupture of Machines to the quiet release of Pit of the Valley, this record invites you to feel your way through it. And for those who want a deeper dive, there's a full review over on our Patreon. So today we're exploring the flow, the creative process, the emotional undercurrents, and what it means to let something break open and trust what comes after. This is Sierra Fournier, and this is the Missloua Floods.
This is the room where everything's pink and cats and plants bask in the sun. They're all glowing, orange, black, and green. And although they're not speaking, they're all singing. There are some days when there's no one home. The clouds come out, I kneel on the road. I gather air and sing to my machines. Although they're not speaking, they know what I mean. Going down to the radio station, it's my show on the radio station. Walking down to the river by staircase, got my life to slip on the ballroom. Got irons in my distance, little fences with cute designs. They're bright and yellow
I first want to just congratulate you again on this album. It has been such a pleasure to spend time with this piece of art. I mean, just anyways, but like I said, specifically at this time in my life, it was really wonderful to spend time with your art. And it's crazy that it's only been like 2 weeks, I think. What, March 27th was really
Yeah.
not that long ago. It was only like 2 weeks ago. So before we get into all the other stuff, I want to ask you about the album. What are your thoughts about the album as a whole, or just kind of anything that you feel you can reflect on? Maybe anything that's surprised you now that it's been out in the world for 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a whole thing.
You know, I love that.
Right? Um, yeah, the album I made, like, the process of writing and recording it, I think was probably one of like the darkest periods I've ever experienced. And it really like I don't know, it just was like this like thing that just kind of had to happen, I feel like. And it almost feels like now that it's out, I'm like kind of like free like something.
Totally. Yeah.
And like it feels really good that like I have something almost to like memorialize that period or
Yeah.
like I don't know, just like kind of have like something beautiful that came out of it. Uh,
Totally.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I have kids that I say that about. So yes, I get it.
oh yeah, it kind of is like having a kid in a way. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
But it is. I mean, it just anyways, I mean I can speak on that as a creative in my right. I mean, I don't write music, but certainly in what I do in writing and everything, it's bringing something to life. And it is
yeah,
very much like, having a child and putting it out there. And then, as it gets older and your relationship changes with it. And, there is very much those similarities to it, or relationships in your life, which sounds very similar to kind of what you're attributing that feeling to, is going through something and having, like, some people scrapbook. And so you have this
yeah.
album that can kind of go back to these moments in your life, and that's really special. Have you gotten What kind of feedback have you gotten? Has there been anything that anybody's said to you, kind of like, that surprised you, or just kind of was like, oh wow?
Well, I feel like the feedback has been very positive, which
Oh,
I'm really happy about. I don't know, people are just kind of like telling me that it's very beautiful.
it is very beautiful, and it's very much like I listened to it again today when I was getting myself in the mindset of our conversation. And again, it's one of those things that is beautiful but reminds you of the beauty in the darkness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
how there has to be that destruction before the beauty, which of course we'll probably come back to that point as we get into, the album itself and the title and all of those things, for sure. But it's just it's really beautiful, even, in the messy, beautiful definition also that life so is.
I'm so happy that that comes through to you.
And it's so like it continuously does, like it's so much of an repeated listen too, because there's a lot of times, especially with something that is a little more folky and arty and things like that, there has to be like kind of maybe a time and a place kind of a thing for a lot of albums sometimes in sort of
Yeah.
the genre. I wouldn't really put you in one specific one, but if we had to, Um,
Yeah.
but this is just something that is great to listen to really no matter what. Like the vibe just kind of interestingly chameleons with when you're listening to it. It's very
Oh, that's
interesting.
cool. That's really cool to hear. Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be the first album I made was very kind of like folk and like I don't know, just kind of like a little sad or whatever and mostly acoustic. But this one I kind of wanted it to be a little more like kind of like rocking out. Like I wanted like people to kind of hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, this is like this goes hard." You
Well,
know?
and there's definitely parts of this album too, like when I've had it on and my kids will even know, oh, I really like this song. And I'm like, hold on a minute, because it's going to do something really cool that's totally different than what's happening right now. So just hold on a
Oh,
second. And that I think is a lot of fun too, because it doesn't keep you, real stagnant in one kind of something. I mean, every song doesn't sound like the one before it, which is fantastic. I love that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It's something different with each thing. But what's
Thank
really
you.
interesting too is listening to this album. I listened to it, weeks before it came out, writing the review for everything. So you had sent me the files, and I was just, hitting the files on my computer, and then I would listen to it. And obviously, it was already great. But then listening to it after it was released and listening on Apple Music, there was so much more depth to listening to it that way. It was
Oh,
very interesting. Like it felt like it was much more like it was cohesive and you were able to immerse yourself in it more with having it, just start the album and let it just play through. And it was very interesting to listen to it that way after having spent the beginning with it just kind of, as files on the computer and, just listening to it
yeah.
that way. So it was a really nice treat when I listened to it on the streaming to hear
That's
that.
so cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
the flow of albums and kind of like the like story that it tells, like in my own stuff and also just in like stuff that I love. I always feel like that's like one of the coolest parts of like music. I don't know, because or
totally.
I also used to like be a radio DJ and like it was like really fun to like kind of put songs together that like you might think were like completely different, but like when they're like compared, it kind of they like kind of come together and make a different atmosphere combined, if that
I
makes
love
sense.
that. Totally.
But
You're like, it's
I
kind of
love,
like making a dish and putting like these two random ingredients together, and you read it
yeah,
on the menu and you're like, what is it this? But then you eat
yeah,
it and you're like, this shouldn't work, but it totally does.
exactly. It is like that. Or like maybe if you put like two colors together and like an outfit or like a painting or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's great that you mention a painting because I wanted to talk about the cover art for your album. And you and I talked about this offline when we were doing our little meeting before your release date, and we talked about lost the lost art of the album cover and
Yeah.
how, with streaming, I was just, boasting about listening to the album on streaming, but it's one of the downsides of streaming is that having that album art is that it's just really hasn't been, it feels like, a piece of the whole thing with the music that you're about to listen to. And I love that you have fully embraced that with the cover art for this album.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's so important to an album, or like, I don't know, it's almost like a subconscious like I don't know, I have like synesthesia kind of where I like associate colors, with like
Yep.
music and everything.
Yeah.
And like it's like the album cover of something like really affects like how I like perceive it, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a really, yeah, it's just a piece of like the whole message, you know?
Absolutely. And talk some more about the art that was created by your partner. So talk a little bit more about the medium that she used and kind of her concept behind that.
Yeah, so yeah, my partner Amy, she made it, and so she found like a picture of like it's like kind of like a generated image of like what the glacial lake Missoula would have looked like. Um, there's not actually any pictures of it because it existed like I actually forget the timeline now. It's like tens of thousands of
Yeah.
years ago or
A
something.
long ass time ago.
Yeah, pretty much a long ass time ago. But
Wait,
yeah,
when we
so
say back in the day, we actually mean back in the day, not like when I say back in the day and it was really only like 1994. I
yeah,
mean,
no, yeah, this is like back in the Ice Age. It's so awesome. But yeah, so she just found a picture of that, and then she just kind of like collaged over it, or like digitally like painted over it like many times. And I think she like cut up some images too, like, and kind of like glitched the image a little bit.
it's
And
very cool. I think I said this to you too that I wanted a print of that for my wall because it's just
oh yeah,
it's so cool and it's such it's definitely creates conversation. So I
yeah,
think that that's really fun too because it's not only just the music that, creates conversation. It's the cover art too, which I think is a lot of fun.
yeah, right. Yeah, like some album covers, like like Animal Collective, Meriwether Post Pavilion, like that. Like I've always like seen that album cover like before I even got into that album, and I was always like, that looks crazy. And
Yeah.
then like and then I like got into the album and I was like, this it makes it even more cool.
Well, and that says something too, like even bands that you don't get into and you see these album covers and then I mean you remember them even if it isn't
Yeah,
something that you were into, you remember them because they just burn that memory into you because you're just like that is so cool or that's weird or it's whatever, it
yeah,
made you think about something, which is what art is supposed to do. And I love that this is, it's all encompassing. It's not just the music, but it's the art piece of it too. And you kept that going with the single Machines. You had another artist
yes.
do the art for that.
Yeah, that was my so that's kind of a funny story because that's my longtime internet friend who I've never met in real life. Their name is Javi, and they are awesome. We've always like nerded out about of Montreal and like Animal Collective for like
Love
years.
it.
And like so their partner Celine is a very talented artist, obviously, because the Machines art.
Yeah.
Um and that was a really cool process working with them because uh they made like a mood board and stuff, and like
we were kind of like emailing back and forth, just kind of like inspiration and stuff. And that was a really cool process to do that too. Yeah, I was very lucky to work with some amazing visual artists in this process.
That's very cool. That's very, very cool. And how fun to, you know, work with your friend and your partner in this capacity too. I know with the stuff that I do, it's always fun to like include my teenage daughter, or my mom will do pictures at a show sometimes that I'm at, and so it's really fun to have the people in your life be involved in whatever it is that you're creating. So that's a lot of
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
it's like such a it's like a beautiful way to like interact with people you love.
In a different way, you're
Yeah,
creating something different where a lot of times you're just like doing life, and so
yeah,
this is something that's kind of outside of that. And so that's a lot of fun too. So you actually worked with your satellite pilot bandmate Alex
yeah.
on this album too. So talk about what that was like.
So that was awesome. Alex always brings so much energy and so much encouragement to my music, and I really love him for that. And I'm just so grateful that I know him. And
Girl, same, and I don't even know him like you do, and he is such an awesome energy and light, and he is so just supportive of me and my little thing and everything that I'm doing too. And
yeah,
he's just got this awesome just vibe about him. And so I can see why just being in his orbit, just anyways, but then creatively and being in a band with him and stuff like that is just got to be such a gift.
yeah, it's really beautiful. And yeah, just like the way he's like so passionate about everything is it's very infectious.
Totally. That was totally the word that I was going to use too. It's just every time that I gotten off a conversation or an interview or a meeting with him, you're just like, you're feeling so great about yourself and just so ready to just create awesome things and be an awesome human. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. Yeah, he's awesome. And yeah, so he played drums. All of the drums on the album are his. And machines, he engineered all the recording for that.
nice.
Uh, so we kind of did that one all together. So that was really fun. Um but yeah, like he just I would just like I remember I would just like show him a song, and then he's just like, dude, this is crazy. And then he's like, oh my God. Like, so we were recording like Skirt and Hair. He was doing the drums for that. And like, I was like playing him what I had recorded. And then he was just kind of like freaking out. And he was like, okay, first of all, I need, I need to smoke some weed right now. Like, he was like, I am not high enough to do these drums right now. And then he's like, and second of all, this song is crazy. This is so sick. I don't know. He's just hyping me up. It's just so funny.
Everybody needs an Alex in their life, like
Yeah.
truly, truly.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's a treasure.
Seriously, seriously. So let's go back to the album title. We talked a little bit about it when we were talking about the album art, but let's go back to that. Where was the inspiration? Tell me some more about the inspiration. And when we talked offline, you had mentioned that you were working on these songs and then the title came later. So take us through all of that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the Missoula floods. is like a geological event, and it's like just this series of like huge cataclysmic floods in the ice age. And they were like the location of them is interesting to me. Like it was like from lakes in Montana, like what's now Montana, and the water like went all the way west to the Pacific Ocean, and it kind of carved out like the Columbia River in Oregon, and that's like where like Astoria is, and like Portland is kind of nearby. But I just like learned about that, and it just felt like a a really good metaphor for like kind of how I was feeling emotionally at the time. Like, I don't know, there was just some things going on in my life at the time that were just kind of like felt really like out of my control almost. And it was just kind of like unexpected and just kind of like, how am I supposed to deal with this? So,
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
right? I think everyone's had things like that, but yeah, sometimes like something happens and you're just like, what am I even supposed to do? Um, and yeah, I feel like it was just that kind of the flood of like emotion. And then also the place like that the event took place. That was kind of a weird way to say that, but whatever. Um, but like Amy and I had gone to on a road trip to Oregon. Like that was the song Skirt and Hair is basically like an epic about that road trip. But yeah, it was just like before I knew about that geographic thing or geological thing, I just like that road trip we were like sleeping in my car like on the ocean like by Astoria, and it was just like the I was really viscerally feeling like the power of the ocean, like it was like really freaking me out in like a really good way. Like I was like up all night like just like, oh my God, this is crazy, like kind of scared I was gonna like the ocean was gonna take the car away or something. But no, it's just like,
It is amazing though when you just think
oh,
about just all the capacity that water has in every sense of it. Because where I live in Buffalo, we have the Great Lakes right here. And we get what is called lake effect snow. And it's because of the way that the wind comes over the Great Lakes, like from Canada. And if the
yeah,
lake is not frozen, or, it's the whole sciencey thing of the weather and the lake and all of the things. And I
yeah,
live 40 minutes from Niagara Falls. So it's very interesting and awe-inspiring to witness the magnificent power of water.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's like I don't know. I think it's really like symbolic. Well, like in a lot of like esoteric like tarot practices and like, just kind of like all that kind of stuff. Like water
totally.
like is like it's supposed to symbolize like emotion, and it's like gentle and like flowing, but then it's also like very powerful and like destructive as well. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just a really cool thing to
It's
think
a
about.
beautiful representation of how life is. And
Yeah,
again, I think you really symbolize that with the different songs on this album. It was almost like you had the title before and then you were kind of building off of that intention, but that wasn't the
yeah,
case.
yeah, because I always knew. I wanted like the title to convey like just like a crazy emotional period basically. Like I was like I need something that's gonna like sum that up in like a title. And
And
then
I
yeah,
mean, and that's it. When you sent me the Wikipedia link, because I mean, admittedly, I didn't know about this event
yeah,
that happened during the Ice Age. And so when you sent me the wiki page to read about this, and then I'm, talking to you about your creative process and listening to the album, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. There you go. Like, perfect.
oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad it makes sense to you.
It's one of those angel things that we were talking about earlier. It's just like you read it or you hear it or you whatever. And I know we talked about this offline. I think I may have even said, kind of mentioned it or pinged on it a little in my review, was that's what happens when you leave yourself open, when leave your antenna up to get the frequency from the universe,
Yeah,
is, seeing somebody talk about this or reading it somewhere and being open to receiving the right title for this, because I'm sure that wouldn't have been something that you would have just sat around and, oh, I know, like,
yeah. It
so
was really just a random like it was literally like a Wikipedia like rabbit hole I was in, and I was
that's
like, oh my
amazing.
god, it's funny.
That's absolutely amazing. I love it. That's how it's so perfect. So you had mentioned to me that you were personally impressed by the track Yard Artist, and you talked a little bit how you felt that exemplified your growth, from particularly from your first solo effort. So I would love for you to elaborate some more on that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like it's kind of my natural state of writing songs is like very just kind of like slow or like just kind of like melancholy sounding. Which honestly that song does have both like parts to it.
Yeah.
But I was happy with how I feel like I started writing more like kind of multi-sectioned songs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Yard Artist was like the beginning was kind of like that, but then it comes into like I just feel like it's one of my favorite like kind of poppy uh like jam things that I've ever written. And I don't know, it just makes me that song makes me really happy that I made it.
I love that. I love it. You're like, yes, I made that and it's awesome. Go me.
Yeah.
I love that. Is there a song on the album that now that, you've had some time and you've put it out there and all of that, is there a song that you've actually grown some appreciation for that maybe you didn't have before?
I was kind of pleasantly surprised by how many people liked the Dark Morning one and two and one, or I guess.
Two and one. Yeah, we were gonna get to that too. How, your unconventional track listing of two before one, but it works. We come back to that, the cohesiveness of telling the story. It works. Like, you had to put two before one on here.
Yeah, yeah, that was just like um that was like a funny thing because it just made sense to put them in that order, but it was like the second one was written second. That's why it's called that.
But I love that. I love that. I do.
Yeah.
I think it's a
It's
lot
like
of fun.
kind of it's one of those it's maybe a little silly and like maybe someone might absolutely hate it, but that's fine.
I feel like, though, especially just with the whole package of what you're getting yourself into when you're listening to this album between, if your first look is the cover, and then you're how many songs into it before you get to that point. So if those are the feels that you are having, then you are at the wrong party.
That's true. Yeah, it's like
Because that is like really on brand for the whole package that you're putting out there. So if anybody has a complaint, like, I'm sorry, you signed up. You're at the wrong table.
that's true.
Like,
It's like someone's like listening to it, enjoying it, and then they're like, "Wait, two comes before one? Actually, I hate this album."
like then you were not listening to all the songs that came before it. It was funny because when you sent me the files, the only reason that I questioned it was because you were like, "Oh, they sent weird. I was having a problem sending them, so make sure they all came in." And they came in, and I was like, "Oh, I just want to make sure that, these are in the right order." But as soon as you were like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay." Like I didn't even second guess it because I know how you are. So, I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds right." Yeah,
that's funny.
sounds right.
Yeah, it was just kind of a just for fun.
Hey, listen, it's yours and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
So,
right?
and it works, but then there is that part of it again is that it works with the cohesiveness of the story and how it needs to be told and listening to this. And this is definitely one of those albums too where I really don't know if I would like kind of a la carte songs. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely, at least for me, is an album that when I'm going to listen to it, we have to start at the start.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's kind of how I feel about it, which is very much, I love a concept album and people just don't do that anymore. So, like I that's what I love about it is it's not a oh, let's pick one or two songs off of here and listen to it. It's very much, start at the start and listen to the whole story.
Oh, that means a lot to me because, yeah, I really did want it to be like that. Like, yeah, it's like a cohesive like piece, you know?
Totally. Well, and if it's meant to represent a period in your life, and I guess you could say a chapter if you want to look at your life as, like a whole story,
Yeah.
that's how you would want it to be when you are sitting down and telling someone about this period in your life, this era of your life. You're going to want to tell the story and let it unfold and have each piece into the other pieces. And I think that that's why I really enjoyed listening to this, on a streaming service because it gave it that much more to it, gave it that addition to what I think you're really trying to convey with this.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, I feel like it's cool too because it's like I feel like it's like you go through a period and it's like it happens like chronologically, but then
Hmm.
it's fun to like make it was fun to like make this album and like choose how I wanted to present the story because like it's like when you like reflect on a period, it's like there's like all the themes that like surface and everything, and then it's like things like make sense in a different way than like they did when it happened.
Totally.
I don't know, it's just like a cool way to like I don't know, I guess like make sense of something.
Totally. It helps you almost kind of, cope and process with it and kind of get kind of your mind, like wrap your mind around whatever it was. Because I think a lot of times, depending on whatever it is that people go through, there is always kind of that moment where you're like, did that really happened? Like we really did that, or I went through that, or this, and it really helps you kind of like, in a way, probably helps you kind of ground after everything that you went through in a way, I think too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it's almost like looking at it like objectively or something, or like just like in a different light, you know, than when you're like
Totally.
in it.
I'm excited to kind of see how this ages for you, over the coming months and, even in the next year and beyond, like how something like this um is going to age for you, coming back and looking at it and how
Yeah,
that's going to, be for you. That's going to be really interesting and exciting, I think, too.
I know, I'm so curious. And it's already been wild to like I've been learning or like trying to play all these live with a new band I'm like setting up. And it's
That's
my friend.
exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it's my friends Kaden and Cody. Um, and yeah, I know them through Satellite Pilot, but it's just been like this like very joyful experience to like kind of like redo all these songs in just like it's like a three-piece band, and like I'm trying to kind of like play with guitar pedals a little bit, and like it's it's kind of turning into like this kind of like grunge rock like sound,
That's
and
very cool.
I am like so thrilled about how it sounded. So
I bet because now these are just going to take on a whole new life.
yeah, yeah, like it's so cool that like they are taking it on like right in front of my eyes. It's like,
Yes.
you know. And
Have
it's
you
also
guys actually played live shows yet?
no, I'm trying to book some. Um, we know 6 songs so far, and
Okay.
I've been writing bass tabs for Cody. And
Nice.
yeah, those guys there's some like weird time signatures and stuff, and they just like I'm always like, "Oh, like is it gonna be too crazy?" And they just get it right away, and they're like they just have like the most beautiful like things to add to the songs, I feel like, and I don't know, it's just like I'm like so excited.
That's very exciting for a number of reasons, and not only the anticipation of people getting to hear these songs live and then getting to hear them become whatever it is that they become in the live setting, but it's also really exciting to work with your bandmates in these other ways. And I said this in my review that it's if anybody listens to the latest Satellite Pilot EP and now listening to your album, I can see why and where you fit so well inside of the collective of Satellite Pilot. So it makes so much sense that these folks that are currently playing or have played with the collective are, branching out and working with you in these capacities. It's so complimentary in a musical and an art way.
Yeah, it's so fun to have like all the different like everyone's different like style of playing or like all of that, and then like yeah, all the different combinations of people are like so interesting. And yeah,
Absolutely.
it almost like I didn't even like I didn't know like how to put this band together really, but those two kind of like came to me, and they like live together, and they can like practice in their house and stuff, and they were like, we should just try it sometime. And then we tried it, and I was like, this is insane.
It's
This is
another one of
so
those things that's just perfect.
yeah, it feels like such a beautiful like era right now.
And that's really also kind of telling too of a lot of things when there is something that happens in your life and then there is the era that comes after it. And
Yeah.
this is just such a really beautiful example all around of that.
Yeah, honestly. And like I kind of have like a whole thing like a whole thing to explain if you don't mind.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Like
Yes.
so like during this album, like I was like pretty severely depressed. Like I was just kind of going through the motions and I was like thinking about the album a lot and like recording it like piece by piece and stuff, but it was like a very slow process to like actually get it finished and like the songs kind of would come to me in like just like one moment at a time. Um they would just come. But like right now, I'm like feeling this like bright era. And like I feel like it's like I'm like I feel like I really got like lost in like some other things that weren't like music, which is like what I need to be doing. And
Yeah.
like right now I've been like it's like it's like the music is like alive. I'm like singing it like daily or like I'm trying to like write all the time and like I'm practicing with the new band, doing stuff with Satellite Pilot and like I've just been like trying to like really like throw myself into it
Yeah.
and I just like feel like that is like the key to being truly happy. Like whatever that is
Absolutely.
for any person, like whatever your passion is. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't know. I just that's something I've been really thinking about lately and that's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool, and I love that. And it's one of those things where, as artists, people that aren't artists don't understand that you have to get this out. Like it
Mhm.
has to be created, it has to be done, it has to be out into the world, and sometimes you don't know why until after, or sometimes you just never know why, but it just has to be done.
Yeah,
And I believe that the artist is the conduit, for whatever sort of source thing that you kind of believe in. um but I
yeah,
believe that, especially with something like this, that you possibly might have not been able to feel the feels that you do now because of the fact that you put this out there. You have to feel that sadness to get that immense joy.
yeah. And it feels so like symbolic that like it's out like in that way. Like it's like it really is just like a symbol of like yeah, that chapter just kind of being closed and like it's like so cool. It's beautiful.
It's nice to be it's nice to be through it.
Yeah, it really is. And like yeah, you always learn and grow and stuff and but yeah, I feel like I've really I think I'm just like never gonna let myself get away from music again, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, it's so healing and it's so necessary. It's the same thing in my life, being so, involved in everything I do in the music business, and being on medical leave that I have for the past almost 2 months. And I went to see some live music a couple weeks ago for the first time, and I just went in and sat. It wasn't how I would usually be at a show, but just to be there and be surrounded by people and just be in that live music energy it was exactly what I needed.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's so beautiful. There's nothing like that energy.
Totally. Like, so totally. So totally. And that's why I love it. Like, that's why I love what I do, anyways, is just that energy and being in that live music setting and the people. And just the band and taking a moment to not have to think about life and just all those parts of it. And I always say it on my show, my everything about my company and all of it is built on that ethos of that music community thing. But after going through everything that I've been through, it just really it hits in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know, and it's like you're always having like new, like everyone's always like having ups and downs and like new experiences and like yeah, it's like the energy is always like changing, but then it's like we're all in it together, you know? And that's the cool thing about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're on this crazy roller coaster of life together, which is a little reassuring, you know? We're like, okay, well, we're not doing this crazy shit by ourselves.
Yeah,
Nice
right.
feeling. So I would love for you to describe this album in 3 words.
Oh, that's fun. That is so tricky. Like what are words?
I know. I knew this was going to be a good one to stump you with.
Yeah. I'm gonna say cataclysmic, water, and love.
I like that. That's a great, well-rounded answer too, which is
Yeah.
so perfect and spot on for the album. So I love that.
That pretty much sums it up, I think.
Totally, totally. I think so. I love the parallels of the first 2 words that you used, which, sometimes love can
Yeah.
be a little.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, there's some moments of that on the album for sure.
For sure, absolutely. So if you could collaborate with any artist,
Oh man.
who would it be? Who would you love to collaborate with?
Oh, that's such a cool question. Hmm. I would want to collaborate with Laurel Halo.
Okay.
'Cause do you know her?
Yes, I do.
It's so cool. I just love like what she does with like she does such cool like things with like atmosphere and like she just comes up with all these like weird noises to put in stuff and like I feel like that would be really cool to harness some of that.
Absolutely. I think that would be a fun and interesting collaboration, I think. Definitely.
I
Yeah.
would freak out.
Well, listen, let's vision board that shit. Let's make it happen. You know I'm here for it.
If you're listening, Laurel Halo, you're the coolest.
Might just have to tag. No, use the power of social media. We'll see what we can do for you.
So crazy.
So you mentioned you're working on some, getting these songs out into the live atmosphere. What other things are you working on in 2026 and maybe kind of beyond?
Well, I'm starting to kind of dream about like where I could go to pursue my music more like kind of buckle down and just try to play a lot because I love this area like Fort Collins and Loveland and Denver but I kind of feel like I need to try to do it somewhere else sometime. So that's just
Yeah.
an idea I'm toying with. That there's a lot of steps involved in that.
For
Like,
sure. For sure. Definitely. But planting a seed is always the first start,
uh,
right?
I'm just thinking, yeah,
But that's
yeah,
exciting to kind of just daydream a little bit about, where could be a cool environment for you to create what's next. I have a lot of friends that spend time in Sedona and out in Arizona and have written some really cool things being out in that atmosphere. So I don't know if
That's
that was on
cool.
your list or anything, but I've heard good things about the energy in that area. So
Yeah. I house sat in Arizona with like my best friend, and it was just an incredible vibe.
yeah, the energy there is just
It
it's
was,
something different. Something about the latitude
yeah.
and longitude, I swear.
No, yeah, seriously. I don't know why, but like Arizona was had like a purple like haze to it. Like it
That's
wasn't even like real, but like it just seemed like there was like a purple filter over everything.
that's amazing, but I'm not surprised to hear that though.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Totally. Yep. Yep. It's
something
just that
about
and it's just that energy and that vibe that's there.
yeah,
The
like
air is different.
it's magic there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think so. Yeah, I think Colorado can feel a little like flat sometimes, even
Yeah.
with
Well, and
the
especially when you're just kind of like in the same space doing the same things, a
yeah,
change of environment is sometimes the choice you need to make.
yeah, it could be a good move, but not anytime too soon.
But everyone stay tuned. She's up to something. We love
Yeah,
that. We love
yeah, if
this.
anybody has any ideas.
Just start throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, right? That's how you gotta do it.
Absolutely. So I would love for you to remind folks listening where they can find you on the interwebs, your music, kind of any and all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's TPRA, the Missoula Floods is the new album, and it's out on all streaming and Bandcamp. And I just have Instagram right now, and it's TPRA forever. And I will post on there sometimes if you watch carefully.
Something will it'll miraculously pop up on there. That's part of the fun. It's very Banksy, You never know when you're gonna post. That's part of the adventure for sure.
My influencer strategy.
It might be tomorrow, it might be 5 years from now. We don't know. Stay tuned, folks.
But you know that I do exist.
Really, you're just an enigma. Don't lie.
I'm just watching and waiting, waiting to drop the next thing.
I love that. I love that so much. Is there anything else that you want to share or talk about that we didn't uh we didn't cover?
Um, that was that was really a very nice interview.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to know it's like riding a bike, and get back on and
Uh,
here we go again, right? The bitch is back. Like, let's
yeah,
go.
the bitch is back. I really appreciate how much like thought you put into my album and the depth that you listen to it with. I really appreciate that, and I think you're really good at this.
Thank you. I appreciate all of that, everything, and it
True.
means a lot to me. And thank you for allowing me to help bring this into the world. Like, I'm so excited. It was such an honor to hear this before it was out there and then to get to review it and share with all of my people and now to finally sit down and have this conversation with you. And it's such a cool part of my job is to watch that the progression of these albums and pieces of art to be debuted in the world. So it's always such a pleasure that artists and bands feel, they can trust me and put my opinion out there of their art, and it's always such a pleasure. And like I said, I needed this. This arrived at the right time, and so I appreciate that. And it's always great to spend time with you. So
Oh, you too. That is like that makes me really happy, dude. That's
I
really
love that. And I was so excited too because I'm, like I said, I'm starting to get back into my work things and easing back into meetings and everything. And this is my first interview back, and this is, getting back into my studio. And I was just so excited that it was you that we got to talk about this again and tell everybody some more about it. So I'm excited for my listeners to get to know you a little better.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I can't wait
It'll be a lot of
to
fun.
see what happens.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. This was so much fun.
Oh,
Um,
thank you, Sarah. That's
yeah.
really sweet.
Well, it was so good to spend some time with you. I will let you go and get back to the rest of your Friday evening. It's Friday, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. My friends are put together a little event for me in Toronto, and it's tomorrow. I had no idea that they were doing this.
Oh,
And they put together like a really nice little event fundraiser kind of thingy.
oh,
Um,
that's so sweet.
yeah, so my mom's staying the night, and then she's gonna drive me up to Toronto tomorrow because it's not far, but it's far for me right now.
Hmm.
It's only like 2 hours, but it's too far of a drive for me.
That
So
is,
we're gonna
that is
go,
awesome.
and it's gonna be a good time.
That is so great. I'm so glad you have like so much support around you.
Yeah, it's been and really like recognizing that, maybe I had a little more support around me than I realized, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I think overall that's the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a bad apple, but I
They
think
they have
overall the
moments.
bunch is pretty good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Especially
totally.
if we keep the energy going.
Absolutely though, there is that truth to like, attracts like, and I think that, when and that's what you put out there, then that's what you receive. And yeah, every once in a while you get an asshole, but it keeps life
Yeah.
interesting, right?
Yeah. They're probably like they're going through something, you know.
Totally. That's how I always like try to take a moment and just be like, okay, you have no idea what this person was dealing with before they got to you. So
Yeah, right. And they're
take a
just like
minute.
they're lost.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad you're cool.
Thank you. I'm so glad you think we need to like, I'm gonna cut that piece out. I'm gonna send it to my 15-year-old on repeat.
Aw.
Like, see, people think I'm cool.
Yeah, you are cool.
Well, I appreciate that. And like I said before, it's one of the many, many things I love about my media company, not only just getting to work with artists and helping them put their art out into the world, but getting to just work with really awesome humans and getting to meet each other because how else would we have connected or crossed paths if it wasn't for music?
I know, it's so beautiful. It's
Yeah,
it's just perfect.
very special. That's why music's my favorite.
Yeah, it really does bring people together all the time. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, and there's nothing else like that. There's no other art form that does that. You can praise
Yeah,
photography and painting and everything. Of course, they're all very important mediums, but nothing brings people together in the same way that music does.
that's so true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is like for sharing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And it's wonderful to be a part of it. So, thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate just everything. So, thank you.
Yeah, you too. This has been amazing.
And sending you the biggest hug. Like, even if we were in person, I can't do hugs right now. So I'm giving you like such a big hug of vibes and just all the
Yes.
things.
Yes, I'm sending you a big metaphorical hug.
I love that. I love it. All the good. I'm like Care Bear good vibing you right now. Like
Yes.
totally.
Like my like cutie mark or whatever. That's like My Little Pony. Like they all have the like a picture or whatever.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
That's the best. I
I
love
feel it.
it. Awesome. Thank you. I needed this today too. This was great. Like this was just exactly what my energy needed. So
Oh, good. Yeah, this makes me very happy.
awesome. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Of course. Thank you. And I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know if you ever need anything or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And same. You know where I am.
Yeah, it was so nice to talk to you.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime. This was great.
Yeah, I hope you have a good night.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.